Hi, this is Mark McCauley. I'm Vice President Government Affairs of the Nonprofit Alliance, and I'm guessing many of you are completing your tax filings, as am I, so I thought this was a good time to talk about tax policy. Most importantly, the Nonprofit Alliance has been very active on the issue of a universal charitable deduction. First, let me give you some quick background. Under the 2017 Tax Reform Act, the standard deduction was dramatically raised, and as a result, only 12% of taxpayers itemize and thus can claim a deduction when making a charitable contribution, while the other 88% of taxpayers receive no tax benefit when making a charitable contribution. To remedy this situation, the Nonprofit Alliance has worked closely with its friends on Capitol Hill, and in early 2020, last year, Congress adopted a $300 universal charitable deduction open to all taxpayers. Then later last year, Congress increased the universal charitable deduction to $600 for married couples, $300 for individual filers for tax year 2021, the current year, and we're working with a number of folks on Capitol Hill to get the universal deduction increased to an even higher level in future years. In particular, Senators James Lankford, Republican Oklahoma, and Chris Coons, Democrat Delaware, have been very active on this issue, as have on the House side Congressman Chris Pappas, Democrat New Hampshire, and Congresswoman Jackie Walorski, Republican Indiana. And we're going to continue to work closely to push for an even higher cap on the universal charitable deduction because it's very important to the nonprofit sector. Let me now talk briefly about another tax issue, the IRA Charitable Rollover. Under current law, an individual has to wait to age 70 and a half to initiate an IRA charitable rollover, and the rollover is capped at $100,000 per year. Well, we have some good news. Just last week, the House Ways and Means Committee reported out of committee for consideration on the House floor a package of retirement provisions that included an increase in the cap on the IRA charitable rollover. In future years, the cap would be tied to the rate of inflation or consumer price index, and thus as inflation increases, the cap would go up from the $100,000 level. We were pleased about that. However, the committee package did not include a lowering of the age from 70 and a half to 65, something we badly want to have enacted into law. We are working also on the Senate side on the IRA charitable rollover with Senators Kevin Cramer, Republican North Dakota, and Debbie Stabenow, Democrat Michigan. They have legislation that not only increases the annual cap on the IRA charitable rollover, but importantly lowers the age from 70 and a half to 65. And with 10,000 baby boomers turning 65 every day, this would be a very important change. I have to end by mentioning a storm cloud on the horizon. The Biden administration has been considering a cap on all deductions, including the charitable deductions, at 28%. Currently, the top bracket is 37%, so this would mean if you're at the top bracket, a charitable contribution would not receive as large a benefit. This is similar to a proposal of the Obama administration in 2009, which was used to try to fund Obamacare by capping all deductions at 28%. Fortunately, Congress opposed enactment of the 28% cap then, and we think it's unlikely to adopt a cap of 28% currently. But we're remaining vigilant on that issue, and we're working with many of our allies on Capitol Hill to make sure there's no limitation on the charitable contribution or any deduction in terms of having a 28% cap. I'm sorry I ran a little long this time, but there was a lot to talk about on the tax front, and I look forward to working with all of you.